Hi, this is King Bucho. I'm one of the hosts on the BDA Boxing Show. And today we'll continue going down the rabbit hole regarding the upcoming Canelo versus Crawford fight. Let's get started. In our last video, we talked about the big excuse that Crawford fans are preparing if their man loses. Based on the feedback gathered from the last video, it seems as though the main point has gone over people's heads. Don't be fooled. These people are trying to cover their bases. If Canelo ends up winning the fight, these people will immediately fall back on the notion that Canelo is too big for little Crawford. Beware, because this will be used as an excuse by Crawford fans. Either it went over people's heads, or they are being dishonest. It would appear that one of the reasons why the last video managed to trigger a substantial amount of people is because we anticipated and exposed their little plan. We've basically blocked their exit strategy, and panic has begun to take over. No, after Canelo wins, you cannot claim that Canelo was too big for little Bud Crawford. These people really think that they can use the weight excuse after all the big talk about how Crawford is superior to Canelo in almost every aspect. We just cannot forget all the talk about how Crawford will defeat Canelo despite Bud moving up 2 weight divisions. According to these people, Bud is so superior that there's no need to break the fight down in any serious way.
A lot of people are changing their opinion.
I always said it. I always said I like Crawford.
What makes him so special?
Oh man, I don't think you got enough time in the interview, man. A very fast processing mind. He can seem to adjust to anything. Probably can't even explain how he adjusts to everything. We can just adjust to anything in the fight. Better stamina, better conditioning, better feet. He has more dexterity, more agility. He's gonna be better in the later rounds. He's a little taller, his arms are longer.
Apparently, all that you need to know is that Bud's special. Again, we all know that Canelo has been fighting at super middleweight for quite some time now. And despite this undeniable fact, some people have concluded that Bud Crawford is vastly superior and will come out victorious. Logically speaking, after Canelo wins, these people cannot fall back on the excuse that this was an unfair fight since they are convinced that Bud Crawford is the favorite. This will anger some people, but if Bud loses, you must give Canelo credit. Some are asking why I didn't show any footage of the 2013 Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather fight. Let's talk about this. Canelo turned 23 about 2 months before the fight. He was inexperienced, as this video evidence demonstrates.
Canelo at age 23, many people believe that he might be a year or so early in this fight. He could well be, as we're watching it, that he had not developed fully enough to be taking this shot.
When was the last time you saw Canelo lead with right hands from such a distance? I actually found a video of someone arguing that Bud Crawford would defeat Canelo based on how he fought Floyd in 2013. This comparison is not uncommon. Again, this fight took place more than 12 years ago, and Canelo is much better now. Crawford doesn't fight anything like Floyd. If you think that a 37-year-old Bud at 168 for the first time is going to pull off anything close to what Floyd did to 23-year-old Canelo, then I don't know what to tell you. On my last video, some people mentioned that I only showed instances of Canelo's so-called surviving moments against Bivol. But what these people don't understand is that I was demonstrating Canelo's defensive skills against the undisputed light heavyweight champion. I purposely showed you these specific clips in order to demonstrate the skills that Canelo displayed against a light heavyweight elite level boxer like Bivol. This wasn't Sean Porter, Victor Postal, or Ricky Burns. Again, this was a physically bigger man, a pound for pounder, truly next level. Do you really think that Bud Crawford will provide more problems than light heavyweight Bivol? Yes, Canelo lost to a pound-for-pound light heavyweight, but I highly doubt that Crawford will provide the same amount of problems. Let's not forget that Bud is older. He will turn 38 this December. He's moving up 2 weight divisions, and Canelo will probably be more comfortable finally fighting a boxer with smaller physical dimensions. A commonly asked question is, how will Canelo deal with Bud Crawford's world-class boxing skills? We keep hearing that Bud will easily control the distance and easily outbox the overhyped, less skilled Canelo Alvarez. Many of the defensive skills that you are witnessing occurred against elite fighters, as well as fighters who possessed a significant reach and size advantage over Canelo. Why do some people believe that Bud Crawford's boxing skills are levels above Canelo's? Based on what, exactly? Which fights are being used as metrics? I keep hearing the following. Hey, look at how Bud defeated Ricky Burns. Look at how he moved around the ring against Victor Postal. Look at how he finished Sean Porter. Are these the fights that demonstrate the skills of a unique boxer? A boxer that is so talented that at 37 years old can still move up 2 weight divisions and defeat a boxer like Canelo Alvarez. Does this make sense? Is this realistic? I believe people need to be reminded of the following. Canelo's height is 5 feet and 7 inches tall. The amount of skills required to compete and defeat bigger men at super middleweight must be taken into account. The record speaks for itself. Canelo has been demonstrating impressive boxing skills against bigger and more dangerous fighters unlike Bud Crawford. In my opinion, Canelo's career has been more impressive when one looks at his level of opposition and the size of many of his opponents. Are Canelo's boxing skills inferior to Terence Crawford's? Now that the narrative of Canelo lacking defensive skills has been debunked, some of you will try to be clever by saying the following.
The Jacobs fight was 6 years ago. Those Golovkin fights were 3,000 years ago. This is not the same Canelo. The current Canelo is old, slow. He likes to swing. Just look at his last performances.
Enough about this, let's get back to reality. Did Canelo struggle against Skull, Berlanga, and Munguia? The answer is no. Canelo dominated them. It's true that Canelo's punch output has declined, but did he need to do more to defeat his last opponents? Some boxing fans keep babbling about how the objective in boxing is to hit and not get hit. The objective is not always to knock out your opponent, but to win. This is exactly what Canelo has been doing. He's been dominating, he's been winning. He's just not knocking out opponents the way you want him to. These standards should have been applied to Floyd Mayweather. Of course, Canelo did not stop John Ryder, Munguia, Berlanga, and Skull. But let's not get it twisted. He dominated them, just like Floyd Mayweather did in 12-round, boring-ass fights. Canelo has been doing it in a slightly more exciting fashion. Canelo even managed to drop 4 out of his last 5 opponents. Again, it's important to understand that Canelo defeated bigger boxers by doing the bare minimum. That says a lot about Canelo's skills. Something else that I've been hearing is that since Canelo could not stop Jermell Charlo, then how will he stop the superior Terence Crawford? It is true that the Mexican could not stop the undisputed junior middleweight champion Jermell Charlo in 2023. But we must ask ourselves this very important question. How did Jermall Charlo fight? What exactly did he do in order to not get knocked out? Before we answer this question, let's take a look back at the Canelo versus Jermell Charlo fight buildup, since it has similarities with the upcoming Crawford-Canelo fight. Both Charlo and Crawford had been undisputed champions. Both men moved up in weight and showed extreme confidence leading up to the fight.
The next terror in the division is what, Canelo? I'll take him first.
He fought in Houston several times, fought in Austin, fought Kirkland, fought Alfonso Gomez. That was me at that time calling his ass out.
He's scared. Where you at, Cinnamon?
I mean, nigga, like, for real, let me show y'all what it is. Fuck it, nigga. That bitch can't beat me with that shit. His last performance, that bitch can't beat me. Motherfuckers.
And some fans recoiled at the idea of Charlo moving up 2 divisions, but he was taller than Canelo, meaning he could pack on muscle to his wide frame. The approach seemed lackadaisical, and some wondered whether Canelo was declining. Charlo, for his part, remained confident.
Hey, we're ahead of time. We stay working. We don't stop working. We're ahead of time.
Canelo. Nigga, don't fuck with me, nigga. Like, for real, let me show y'all what it is. Fuck it, nigga. That bitch can't beat me with that shit. His last performance, that bitch can't beat me. Motherfuckers.
And sure enough, his fans grew hopeful.
I think Charlo's going to pull an upset here. I'm just going to say that right now.
Canelo is slipping. The guy's regressing a little bit. It happens.
Canelo had a 23-1 Egyptian boxer called Ahmed El Bali as a sparring partner in his training camp, and the kid said that he thinks Canelo is tired of boxing and not that motivated, and during sparring he said after a few rounds that he was getting tired. Obviously the Canelo camp came back at this guy and was like, you're crazy, why are you talking shit?
I'm going to say it's going to be a tight fight, going to go the distance. A fight where maybe Canelo needs his friends. Yeah, I said it, friends.
I get the hell out of it!
Suddenly, Canelo was not only an old fighter, but an unskilled one as well.
Baby, I do this for that culture that they talk about. I do this for the culture that they hate on.
So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your asses, you gonna be a nobody. You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Baby, I do this for that culture that they talk about. I do this for the culture that they hate on.
From the start, Canelo pressed Charlo, launching his patented sledgehammer shot. As expected, Charlo moved and attempted to catch Canelo coming in. But the Mexican's defense remained tight. And even when Charlo landed, Canelo continued advancing. Meanwhile, the Mexican channeled his inner Rocky Marciano, hitting whatever was available. Charlo remained game as he attempted to maintain range and loaded up whenever he saw the chance.
Yeah, Charlo hasn't been able to find the distance or, maintain, the range where he wants to keep Canelo. Canelo just getting in too easy. Again, Charlo not throwing the jab enough. It's just beautiful work from Canelo to the body.
But in the 7th, Canelo shook him.
He would just hook his way.
Charlo survived, and in the 8th, he punched out of desperation. Canelo continued stalking, but the fight evolved into the standard Canelo bout, as he threw one shot at a time. Meanwhile, Charlo's brother Jamal appeared unbothered by his brother's plight. In the end, Canelo walked away with a unanimous decision.
So let's get back to the question at hand. Why was Canelo unable to stop the junior middleweight champion Jermall Charlo? The answer is pretty easy. Jermall did not come to fight, and he lost every single round. The fight wasn't even competitive. Yes, the blueprint for not getting knocked out exists. If Crawford is interested in losing every round, then he should definitely watch the Jermall Charlo versus Canelo fight. When Canelo asked Crawford to name one elite win, he replied by saying Ricky Burns and Victor Postel.
Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postel wasn't elite?
Who?
The big question is, why didn't Bud mention the Errol Spence Jr. fight? Many believe that Bud struggled much more in his latest win against Israel Madrimov than against Errol Spence.
Crawford is having a lot more difficulty with Israel Madrimov than he did with Errol Spence Jr.
But does this make any sense? Is Madrimov that much better than Spence? Sure, styles make fights, but was it style alone that allowed Bud Crawford to easily defeat Errol Spence? Or was there something else that Bud knows about? Let's look at some receipts.
I know why they had to drag this negotiation out. I know and heard from some close people to you what you be doing over there now. Get yourself together and stop doing that shit, and you know what I'm talking about.
What is he talking about? After Terrence defeated Errol Spence, a person by the name of Dr. 805 called into one of our live streams. This is what he had to say.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you for having me on. I just wanted to kind of share, from this perspective, I've performed neurological exams on quite a few patients over my years. And when you're looking for somebody who's either had head trauma or maybe has had a stroke, even people with dementia, which is another form of neurological damage, there's certain things that you look for. And my wife, when she saw Errol Spence enter the ring, she asked me, she's like, he looks like he's on marijuana. And I told her, I said, he has residual neurological damage from his car accident. That people have commented on this, but people, if you don't have the experience doing this, you're not going to pick up on it. So one of the things when you're doing a neurological exam on somebody, you look at, there's like a glassy look to a person's eyes when they have either a concussion or they have advanced stages of dementia. And if you compare video of Errol Spence before his accident, just do a little assessment on the eye exam of what I'm telling you. It is apparent. I mean, it is honestly, it is embarrassing how obvious it is that he's significantly compromised.
If Dr. 805 is correct, that would explain why Errol Spence Jr. lost so easily to Bud Crawford. Errol Spence didn't even put up a fight. If Errol Spence had been compromised going into the fight, then how much credit can we give Bud Crawford? Let's not forget that Errol Spence Jr. has not fought since losing to Bud Crawford in the summer of 2023. Let that sink in. Do you think this is over? We are just getting started. Let's see what the BDA family has to say about this fight.
I told Bucho, I told Bucho this, and I said this on the air a couple of weeks ago. Don't worry about who's going to give whom credit, because at the end of the day, whether Canelo wins or whether Crawford wins, no one's going to, there's always going to be some people saying, nah, no credit, especially Canelo, because he's the A side. And historically, the A sides, they constantly get criticized because they're under a microscope. Whether it was Mayweather, De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard, he's not going to get any credit. So
you were the bigger guy. You were you're the top guy. You should have knocked him out. I'm sorry, Canelo. I just think Turkey loves Crawford. I know how people look at each other. I've got that animal instinct. I've seen how Turkey's looked at Crawford, and he looks at Crawford like he's his little baby.
It's very unlikely that Crawford's going to make it to the end of that fight. Everyone thinks this guy's a virtuoso, super slick, running all over the ring. Look, this guy Madrimov was throwing simple setups, jab, straight right hand, boom, and it was going right down the middle. It's very unlikely that this guy's going to survive this fight.
I think Crawford's good enough to pull a Jermel Charlo type of fight, where he's good enough to avoid trouble and make it to the 12th line, to the 5th line.
When did you see Charlo before the Canelo fight run like that, retreat like that? What fight did he do that in besides that fight?
No, he's never done that. You're right, Recognize, but we do have to remember before that fight, Charlo was not talking trash like he usually does. If anything, he was sounding like a Canelo fanboy, the way he was praising Canelo. He didn't sound like a guy that was coming to fight.
The next terror in the division is what, Canelo? I'll take him first.
And some wondered whether Canelo was declining. Charlo, for his part, remained confident.
Hey, we're ahead of time. We stay working. We don't stop working. We're ahead of time. Canelo. Nigga, don't fuck with me, nigga. Like, for real, let me show y'all what it is. Fuck it, nigga. That bitch can't beat me with that shit. His last performance, that bitch can't beat me. Motherfuckers.
Baby, I do this for that culture that they talk about. I do this for the culture that they hate on.
But we do have to remember before that fight, Charlo was not talking trash like he usually does.
First of all, that my comment, when I hear people say that Crawford's not going to sting the joint out because he's not that type of guy, let's not forget, I'm not saying he will sting the joint out, but there is a precedent to him sticking the joint out against Postal. He was terrified of Postal. I mean, he fought as if he was terrified. He really did the bare minimum to win that fight. He fought like Williams.
He hurt that guy, by the way.
Early in the fight, and after that, he just
versus Madrimov.
He coasted.
Yeah, two knockdowns.
He just did. First of all, one of them he cuffed him behind the head. The second one, he hurt him.
I agree. He did come by.
And that was early in the fight. If you rewatch the whole fight, I know Thunderdome rescored it years ago. He won, but he did the bare minimum. He fought like Williams Cole did. to a certain degree. So he can't think it out.
Skull was worse.
Yeah, I know he was worse, but he was on
worse.
He was on that stratosphere. I'm telling you, rewatch the fight. He was on the stratosphere. Constant movement, very little punching. Some of you guys are saying, well, Canelo's washed. What makes him washed at this point?
To answer your question, you said Canelo is why I think this. All right, first off, Canelo has had a very long career. He has way more miles on the tire than Crawford. I know Crawford's older, but people don't realize age and mileage is two different things, bro. You know what I'm saying? Crawford, yeah, he fights once a year. Yeah, he's damn near 38 or whatever, but he's preserved, man. He's in the gym all the time. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, he parties here and there. Canelo's been fighting professional since 15 years old, man. And like the last couple fights I've watched Canelo, especially when he fought John Ryder, I see the decline in him. Like 2021, when he was knocking dudes out and stuff like that, he was way more fresher, way more efficient. When I see him today, he's just aging drastically to me.
If Canelo doesn't throw any punches, then of course he's gonna lose the fight. But you guys really think he's gonna be
Bucho.
very gun shy against Crawford? He's gonna be like, oh shit, I don't know what to do here. Like after he fought Golovkin, after he fought all these guys.
What does he think that Canelo does better than Crawford?
Everything.
Just name some things.
He has better defense than Crawford. Just look at the guy.
Okay.
Like he can stand his ground, move his head, and roll with the punches. I'll tell you what. Go look at the Golovkin fight, the second one. That was an elite fight. Like, were you expecting Canelo to display his amazing boxing skills against Berlanga?
Canelo's doing what he said he was doing. He's punishing Berlanga. Right hand.
Like, what was Berlanga even bringing to the fight? The guy was in the back with. These guys are running. So Canelo cannot display those skills that he showed against these elite
No, he had 5 fights with John Ryder. He should have got John Ryder out in a couple of rounds. He had a tough fight. He should have got him out in a couple of rounds.
Underrated, bro. You got
all of these guys, man.
Well, a lot of the people that are picking Crawford are saying, well, Crawford's going to win because Canelo's past it. Hey, he's not shot, but he's past it. And the thing that you guys brought up were the punching stats. Here, when he fought Miguel Cotto back in 2015, so that's 10 years ago, or about to be 10 years ago, he threw 484 punches. So I'm sticking to fights where he went 12 rounds, by the way.
Yes.
Against Callum Smith during the pandemic, this is 2020, November 2020, he threw 494 shots, okay? 2 years later, when he fights Bivol, where he loses that fight, he threw 495 shots, so the same amount. When he fought Ryder, he threw 459. When he fought Berlanga, 464. When he fought Munguia, he actually threw more. He threw 536. So for a guy who's coming forward just throwing sledgehammers, he actually is he's staying at about the same level of punches. Again, against Plant and against, what's his name, Saunders, he didn't go the 12 rounds, so I'm not counting those. But he throws about the same amount of punches. In fact, when he fought Golovkin in the third fight, I believe he threw, hold on, I got it right here. He threw 487 punches. So he's staying at about the same range. So if we're going by punch output and using that as a metric for his decline, he's still throwing the same amount of punches thereabouts.
That's why Canelo must be getting paid crazy money for accepting this fight, because he's on a lose path. He will get legacy, of course he will. It's always like a lose. They're always going to give him shit for it, aren't they? Oh yeah, you beat a smaller guy.
Yeah, I'll give him some credit. Now, going into this fight, I think Canelo should win pretty comfortable. Now, what I mean by that is, I think that if Crawford stands there and decides to fight with him, he gets knocked out. Now, if for whatever reason that doesn't happen and Crawford stands there and fights with him and he doesn't knock him out, I'm going to be a little disappointed with Canelo and a lot impressed with Crawford.
But Crawford's not going to set the pace, so to speak. Canelo's going to be following him around. It's going to go to 12 rounds and Crawford gets the decision like that.
Who do you think will come out victorious, Canelo or Terrence Crawford? We want to hear from you in the comments section. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and check out our Patreon. We'll see you next time.
BDA Boxing. What you see is what you get.